Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lara, or Lara Likes Mascara. Today's video is Project Pan update. So this is kind of a two-parter because every time I start filming, I hope you're well today. I hope you enjoy Project Pans because today's video is a two-parter. In the first half, I am going to be doing a wrap-up or the final update for my 2022 Project Pan. I'm not going to show all of the empties from my Project Pan throughout the year because I will have another video where I'll just be showing all of my makeup empties, but I will be showing the update from the most recent Project Pan. So what I finished from those products. And then in the second half, it'll be my 2023 introduction to my Project Pan. So I'm just doing this all in one video. And part of that is for efficiency. Part of that is also because honestly, a lot of the products, unfortunately, I did not quite finish from my 2022 goals. And so I'm just rolling them over into next year. Now, of course, I do have some changes. I have quite a few changes. Some things I'm rolling out, some new things I'm rolling in, but for a few items that are almost done, I am just going to be keeping them in until I'm finished. So welcome to my 2023 Project Pan introduction, and let's get into it. So first off, let's start with my empties because these are the most exciting things. I have two empties actually since the last update. I have finished two products and both of them have been fairly recently. Interestingly, I think at the end of the year I get this real rush of, oh, I gotta finish everything before January. So I'm really pushing through on some products. But this one I just finished yesterday. Yeah, I'm just excited that I got this out. And it's kind of too bad that I didn't finish it 2 days earlier because I had filmed another video where it would have been relevant to mention being finished, but at least I have it done for today's video. This is the Makeup Gallery Feeling Blush in Coral Rose 4 that I have been working on, I think all year. I think honestly even in 2021 I was working on this blush, but I have finally finished it. I recently repressed it, and you know when that happens, soon enough, the product is going to be finished. So it's done. Very, very exciting. I've done a good job of panning blushes over the past few years through this Project Pan. I think I've gotten 4 out just by panning them. But that's because most of those had a lot of progress on them. So I was just building on what I had done in years past. But now I think all of my blushes are pretty much equally not panned. So there's no hope of finishing any blush in 2023. So I'm not going to try to pan any blush. I do actually have one blush that will be in my Project Pan, but that's just to get progress in it. There's absolutely no hope that I will get it out within the next year, but that's okay. This was the last one that I wanted to pan. Yeah, it's out. Very exciting. And today is the 29th? Yeah, it's the 29th. So, got a few days left before January. The next one is this Becca foundation. Excitingly, I finished this recently. I opened it, I dug everything out. I've talked about this product at length, so I will not do so here, but suffice it to say, I am glad that this product is out of my collection. It is kind of the end of an era because this is the last product that I have from my foundation concealer days that I loved, really, really full coverage, thick matte products. So I finally get to start over, you might say, in my, what are face products called? Anyways, in that category. So those are the two products that I finished this month. And now let's get into progress that I have made on other products that I did not finish. So a few of these are eyeliners where you can actually see the progress. So I think let's do those all together. All right. So first, let's discuss this Revlon Photo Ready Kajal liner. I haven't used this one that much. Oh no. This one's kind of tricky because there are two ends, you see, and so you can change how long it is. Do you know what I mean? It's not exactly accurate if I measured it by putting it like that because I can change the length of this product by just squeezing in these two ends. But hopefully I measured it like this. I actually don't remember if I did. And also, can you see the other end is clearly squished in? because I pushed that end in too hard, so that might not even be accurate. But nevertheless, let's try to measure. Okay, according to this, it is a bit lower than before, but that could just be because this end was squished in. Again, I don't know, but you can see that some progress has been made over the past few months. So that is as much as I can hope for, even if that is not entirely accurate. Try not to squish it in that time. Okay, the next one is the brown liner. This is the one that has been in my project pan for the longest and that I've seen the most progress with. I mean, look at that. That's a lot of change, so that's great. I haven't used this one too much recently because I have been leaning more towards black eyeliner. I feel like that happens more in the winter. I do heavier makeup looks. Especially recently I've had more parties and whatnot where I do a bit heavier, more dramatic makeup. So yeah, I'm really not seeing maybe a tiny bit of difference there. So it's slow going, and I am kind of getting tired of this eyeliner. So just yesterday I switched in a different brown eyeliner to be using. I think I'm going to take a bit more of a break with this one. I'm still going to leave it in my project pan. I'll get into that in the second half of the video. But I'm going to try out some of my other brown liners just to see how they compare, because I've been focusing on this brown eyeliner alone and I don't even remember how it compares to other ones. So I just want to make sure that this is worthwhile panning and I don't have other better brown liners in my collection that I should be reaching for on a more regular basis. And then the final one is this NYX Jumbo Crayon. This is the one I'm most anxious to get out of my collection just because I do not like it. Oh, wow, I'm really pleased about that. Got some really good progress, I think. It is hard to tell because this is a white product, of course. Can you see that? Maybe? Where was I? So I think where it cut off was I was talking about this. Yeah, so it came up to there. So clearly I've been making progress. I have been using it. I obviously don't like it very much. I've been using other eyelid primers most of the time, but I still have been using this on occasion. It gets the job done usually. And then the next one, I probably should have mentioned this with the Becca foundation. This is the Evermatte Poreless Priming Perfector. They were, sort of a duo, and I just use primer less than I use foundation. So this has been slower going than the foundation has, but I mean, you can tell there's not that much product left, and I have been trying to use this like pretty much every day, regardless of what foundation I'm using. I try to use it underneath. If I keep up that habit, this could probably be done by the next update. I do updates every 2 months rather than every 1 month. So, the next one will be end of February, beginning of March kind of thing. So within 2 months, I think this could be done. I'm gonna say it. This one is for sure. I feel like nothing else. Well, there's one other thing that is like pretty much for sure that I will have done by next time, but this is the main one. The next one is this papaya lip balm that is like potted. It looks like this. As you can tell, there's not that much product left, but it is just annoying to use because I need to use a little like lip brush. I much prefer lip balms where I can just apply it. I can't bring this out with me. Even if I wanted to put my finger in it, I couldn't because I have long nails right now, and so I would just dig it in there and then, it's a whole thing. I don't like products where I have to dig my fingers in. So this has been quite annoying, but I have been working diligently on it. I would say I use this pretty much twice a day, every day, and I apply it very, very thickly. Right now, I'm wearing a lot of this and then just have like a red sort of glossy lipstick on top. But yeah, this I will definitely be done by the next update. It's just sort of a question of how quick it will be, because if I continue at the rate I'm going, I think probably within 2 weeks this could be done, which I will be very happy about because, as I said, don't love it. I also think that I forgot to mention this in my last update, so sorry about that, but I didn't really have anything to report. It's slow going, but we going. The next one, I think this is the last makeup product. This is the NYX Born to Glow Liquid Illuminator, and you can't tell, like, it's like this, right? This one looks very skinny because of use, but this one, for whatever reason, it remains just as full looking, even though it's not. I promise there's not that much product left. Every day I have to squeeze harder and harder to get anything out. There we go. And you can see that the side there is kind of cracking a little bit because of that squeezing. So I don't know if this will be done by the next update, just because, you know, highlight, you can't use quite as much highlight as other products, but I'm really working on it. I'm still enjoying it. I'm still enjoying the color and applying it, but, you know, highlights are just pretty slow going. So this, of course, will be rolled into the next year's project pan. And hopefully next year we can accomplish that one. Knock it off. What else? Oh yes, so sorry. I actually forgot that I had finished another product that I didn't mention at the beginning. It's because it's not this actual product, it's a very similar one, but I cannot find it right now. It is somewhere very deep in my bag of finished products of 2022, of which there's so many. Yeah, it's a disaster in there, so I couldn't find it, but I have this very similar one, so I figured I would just show that instead. Hope you didn't notice, apart from me mentioning it. So this is the CoverGirl Nature Luxe mascara. This particular one is water resistant. The other one that I finished is not, but other than that, they're the identical product. I mean, yeah, the brushes look the same, so I might as well show you. I did manage to finish this up. I honestly think it was before my Turkey trip. Is that possible? I had to pre-film a bunch of content before that because I was going to be away for a few weeks. So it was quite a while ago, but I'm just mentioning it now. So I was really happy to have finished that. I honestly don't know if I would have finished it if I had used it on my lashes. I exclusively use this as brow gel just because yeah, it wasn't my favorite and it's super old, so I felt a little uncomfortable with it, but I was just glad to have found a different use for it and to have gotten it out. And I will talk about what this is and its relevance a little bit later. But yeah, 3 products finished in this last update, so that is pretty good. The last one that I have to talk about is this brightening eye cream. In every Project Pan series or update, I have all makeup products and then one skincare product, usually just to, you know, keep it interesting and try to pan stuff that's not exclusively makeup. So this one is from Apothecary number 5, hemp seed oil and vitamin E. I mentioned last time, I'm not really sure if I believe that this does anything, but I have come to quite like it. I've come to enjoy having an extra step in my nighttime routine. Even if it does absolutely nothing, it's kind of nice to put this on my under eyes and then apply the rest of my moisturizer. I don't know. But yeah, I have used up quite a bit of this, but there's still a lot left because, you know, you only use a very small amount. But you can see, I mean, I'm squeezing and there's not that much product left. So this could be finished by the next update. It's just hard to tell, but definitely within the next few updates. This is not a super long ways off. So was that all 9? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, I think I just miscounted. Oh my god, was this not even in it? Why did I have this here? Okay, this, I'm so sorry. This was not actually in my project pan. This was in my products that I wanted to pan in 2022, which is an entirely different series. But for some reason, I brought it over here. This is going to be in my 2023 project pan. So, you know, everything I said applies to it. But yeah, other than this, those products were the 9 things that I had in my year-end project pan. I decided not to roll in any more, even though I only had 9, just because it was the end of the year. I knew I wasn't really going to be able to get that much done on a new product. So yeah, that is the conclusion of my project pan 2022. And let's talk about the products that I'm rolling in for 2023, starting with the things that were in my last project pan. So obviously this one is going to be rolled over, this one is going to be rolled over, this one, and then this is actually, as I said, the same but in waterproof, and so I've now been using this as a brow gel instead, and it's basically the same product, so it works just as well. So that is going to be in my project pan. And then let's talk about the new things I'll be rolling in. Okay, maybe let's start with what I'm not bringing in. So this product, this double-ended liner, I don't really have much of a problem reaching for the white one, so I can just continue to reach for that organically. And then also this eye cream, same situation because of my project pan, because I have included it in this project. it has now become a habit. I'm used to using this every night, and so I don't need to like force myself anymore. It's just organic use at this point. So that's great. I'm always happy when project pans, you know, improve your relationship with makeup or just add in habits that you wouldn't otherwise have had. Ooh, just quickly now, because I have to apply this before using powder blush, just because of how it works with powder products. So now I'm used to that habit. Like, it used to be an issue to remember to use highlight before blush because I was so used to the other way around, but now I'm used to reaching for highlight first. So, you know, that will be helpful for if I decide to pan other cream highlights in the future, later this year. I will also be including these two in my project pan. I don't think I will be quite as dedicated with these two this year. Like, this one I will keep in my makeup bag. This one, as I mentioned, I will be having the other brown liners in there, but I do want to remember to reach for both of these because they are products that I would ideally like to finish at some point. I feel like they're too old to pass on to someone else. So just trying to get these out, and the best way to do that, as I've said many times before, is by including them in my project pan. And then the new things, quote unquote new, this one is a single eyeshadow from Maybelline, which I actually depotted into here. This is a MAC paint pot. You can see there's not that much left, but eyeshadow does take a while to work through, so it might still take quite a while to get through this. Hard to know. I think there's probably about 10 to 15 uses left in here. So if I'm good about reaching for it, then that could take as little as a month to get through. So I could be done this by my next update. That is the goal. I did have this as something in my graveyard project pan. So now I'm just switching it over into my project pan to make sure that it gets finished. We have another eyeshadow. I don't know that I've ever done eyeshadow in a project pan before. I've had it in my graveyard project pan, as I mentioned, and I've had it in my eyeshadow project pan, which is this whole other project pan. I can link that playlist here if you're interested. But this one is from ColourPop, and the reason I selected it is because there's already pan in there. Part of this is because I had to scrape off the top because it got hard pan, but I like my project pan to always be super obvious. So if I'm not able to finish a product, I like to at least be able to tell that progress has been made, which is why I don't usually choose things like mascara or powder products where I haven't already hit pan or where I'm nowhere near close to hitting pan, because then I'm just not going to be able to show you the progress. I'm not really going to be able to provide helpful updates. But with this, because I have hit pan on it, I will be able to tell if progress has been made or if it hasn't been made. And I used to love this, and it's kind of dried out now. So, you know, if I realize that it's no good and I need to declutter it, then at least I will have come to that conclusion because of my project pan. But hopefully I'll be able to reach for this a little bit more in the coming months, because I really, what's the word? I just wasn't reaching for it this past year. And then we have a blush. And as I said, I have no blushes in my collection that are at the point where I would be able to pan them within the year, even if I was working on them like almost exclusively, I don't think. But this one, at least, I will be able to tell progress on it because of its sort of shape. So this is in Bourgeois Pig. It is from NYX, and it is one of the blushes that I mentioned in my inventory, which I have already filmed but hasn't actually come out yet as of, you know, when this video will come out. But I noticed that this one I haven't reached for in ages, and it kind of looks like it has hard pan. It doesn't, like I'm able to swatch it very well. Hopefully you can see that there. But because of its sort of shape, it's really obvious if you start wearing it down. Like, you can already tell that I have in one corner. And hopefully if I use it enough, I will have worn it down in all of the areas, like in all of the separate squares. So I just want to be seeing some progress on this. That is going to be my goal for next time, to have worn down the sort of dividing lines, if that makes sense. Because I do need to start reaching for some neglected blushes now that I've gotten through all the ones that I wanted to pan. Oh yes, and then there is just one more, and this is in keeping with my, you know, one product that is not makeup. This is the Golden Apple Shimmer Lotion from The Body Shop. Very old. This product is super, super old, unfortunately. So this, I think I have mentioned it before. I don't know if I put it in a project pan or something else, but this is just a cream that I've had, like it's definitely the longest lasting cream in my collection, and I've been trying to get it out for a long time, but I'm not great about using moisturizers. Like if I'm dry, if I notice that I need some, then I'll put it on, but otherwise I just don't bother, which I think is fine. Like I'm not going to apply a product that I don't need, but like even when I do need it, like in the winter I could probably be using moisturizer every day, and even if I'm not dry, and that would be a good idea. Anyways, the issue with this is that it's like shimmery. So where I get the most dry is my hands and my legs, like around my calves. But it's kind of weird to be putting like shimmery lotion on your calves. I'll do it if I'm putting like pajamas on afterward, but if I'm putting jeans on, I don't really want to get my jeans all like shimmery inside. And then also even for hands, like before it sinks in, it's, you know, it's quite shimmery. So if I think I'm like, I might accidentally like brush something, or if I'm like going through clothes or whatever, like all of that will get shimmery. Even if I'm just on the bed and, you know, my hand is on the sheets or whatever, it's going to get all shimmery. So it's kind of inconvenient. I would reach for this way more if it wasn't shimmery, which is kind of ironic because like the whole gimmick of this is that it's shimmery body lotion, but it's like real shimmery. I don't think the camera's going to be able to pick it up, but yeah, it's not great. So I just got to use this on my legs because that's like where the most real estate is, and I got to remember to reach for it every day. I think this is going to be a long time that it will take to work through because I have been working on it actively for the past few months. But, you know, putting it in a project pan is always the best thing to do when you want to use up an item. So that is it. Those are all 10 items. I usually do 10 makeup and then 1 skincare, but just because I feel like I have a lot that I'm going to be panning this year, and I was already getting confused in the past few months about what belongs to which pan, and even, you know, with this where I thought it was in my project pan but it actually wasn't. I want to try to minimize that because I'm doing this project pan, and then I also wrapped up, you know, 2022 project pan. I am also doing my 2023 makeup that I want to pan, and I will be having 1 more project pan coming. I'm going to be doing a lip product project pan. So yeah, a lot of project pan items, and I know it's going to be confusing, so I'm trying to keep it minimal. But yeah, that is it for today's project pan video. Let me know what you thought of my 2022 series, and if you're excited for my upcoming series, don't forget to watch out for my video on all of the makeup that I panned this year, because that will be coming soon, along with my inventory. Also, look at this amazing eyeliner. I'm wearing it today for the first time. I don't like my eye look very much. I went for like a kind of cool toned eyeshadow look, which I don't think I would usually do. Like I would probably just wear this by itself, or maybe with a bit of black eyeliner as well. So I'm playing around with it, but I think it gives a neat effect. I don't have any other eyeliners that are fun like this, so I just wanted to mention it in case you were like, oh, that's a different look for you. Anyways, let's talk about a book that I've been reading lately. So this is The Cartographers by Peng Shepherd. I had heard about this because it was highly recommended by Modern Mrs. Darcy / What Should I Read Next, which is my place that I go for all book recommendations. And this was like one of her / the podcast's highest rated books of the year. But when I heard the summary, I was like, I'm not really that interested. It's basically about a young woman who is super into maps, like as a profession, and her father is an academic who's very well known for he's not like a map maker, but they just like study maps. But mysterious events are happening, people are getting killed, and at the center there's this map that she's trying to figure out how it relates to everything. So it sounds like an interesting premise. I hadn't heard of a murder mystery that was centered on maps before, but I was just like, I'm not that bothered. But then my mom was reading this and she sort of foisted it on to me. She said she didn't like it that much, but she recommended I read it anyway. So I'm about a third of the way through now, maybe just over a third, and I like it. I actually like the map aspect the most out of everything. I don't love the writing style. I don't think it's that well written, but I think that the mapping aspect is super interesting. I'm learning a lot about maps, and now I'm like, oh, honestly, I didn't realize that there was that much to maps and studying maps. It's not going to be a favorite of the year, but if that sounds interesting to you, if you're into maps at all, it kind of reminded me of Paper Towns, which I loved that John Green book. So yeah, I guess it's more of a recommendation than a non-recommendation. Okay, as this book went on, I got more and more frustrated, so don't really know if I recommend it anymore. But also, you know how I mentioned John Green, Paper Towns? If you have read that book, you'll know that Agloe, New York, is a big part of that book. And it was the same in this book. I was like, has she read Paper Towns, the other, like, most popular book about maps? And also, would the characters not know about Agloe? Like, everything about Agloe I found very strange, because it was, like, just super coincidental. But yeah, that is going to be it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you are all having a wonderful 2023 so far. I hope you have all kicked off your 2023 project pans. If that is what you're doing, best of luck on your panning progress this year. And I will talk to you next week. Bye.